Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. On today's show, we get back to serious intellectual science fiction with a discussion of Denis Villeneuve's 2016 film Arrival, starring Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forest Whitaker. We hope you have time to listen. On today's show, we get back... Oh, right, sorry. Well, it's a good discussion. Thankfully, the fate of humanity does not rest on it. So refresh your drinks, please. This is a SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the podcast that tries to be a pub, and perhaps someday a pub that tries to be a podcast. And I'm looking around. It's a hot one today. And who do I see? Well, I see Carrie and I see Derek. Carrie, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Joel?
I couldn't be better. Well, I could, but no one will care or listen. So let's not talk about me, Carrie. Let's talk about you. What's happening in your life?
Not much. I'm just, sitting in my apartment hiding from the heat. If you hear background noise, it's probably my air conditioners.
Have you thought about moving someplace cooler? I don't know, like the Arctic Circle?
Oh, hell no. That's too cold.
Okay, just
I am a desert creature. I need some heat in my life, but not this much.
That's excellent. And Derek, is that you?
Yes, and I am at Derek J. Beebe. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, God. Yes, Derek, how you doing today?
Joel, I should let you know that I actually saw this bit coming, but I decided not to say anything because, you shouldn't know too much about your own future.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes you just have to ask the big question. Yeah, unfortunately.
And in closing, I thought it was a very good movie. It's very slow and small. You could tell they didn't have a lot of money, but it definitely had some big ideas and a really good plot twist that makes you want to go back and watch it again.
Thanks, Derek. See you next time.
Yeah, we can kick him out now, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, since time is only a construct, let's just say, Derek, how's the kitchen doing?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, God. No.
Non-linear podcasting. Here we are. Okay.
Today we are serving fried heptapod legs. They are chicken feet I got from the slaughterhouse for a song, and I just deep fried them in some batter, and I stuck a couple extra toes on them so that they counted up to 7. And I imagine they taste good. I haven't tried one myself yet.
Oh God! So you really?
I don't want to know I don't want to know where he got the extra toes, and 2, that this sounds particularly insensitive given what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Well, a slaughterhouse always has remaindered items with it, so.
I think Derek is really out on a limb here.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, at this point, I think there's a desire for more cows.
Oh.
God.
Where's the
Well,
beef?
I can always use more steak. I love steak.
Yeah.
As long as Derek's not making it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, let's just move on because I don't want to dwell here. Because I got nothing. I got nothing to comment on Derek's kitchen stuff. I'm just lost for speech. But I just want to...
Well, you can squirt an ink message about it.
Yes. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's the coffee and beer stains on the bar already, okay? It's his own code.
Since we buried the lead, what are we talking about today?
Okay, we're talking about the movie Arrival, the 2016 film by Denis Villeneuve. But before we get onto it, I just want to give you an update about myself, maybe some little housekeeping things. First, the good news is that I'm not hungover today.
Who are you and what have you done with Joel?
Yeah. I've just been coming off some illness, but I'm okay now. And also, I'm leaving for a week on vacation, so I'm going someplace very warm. I'm going to Texas, apparently. Austin, Texas. I've heard good things about it. We'll see what's up with that. So, the other thing is... I have to apologize to some of our customers because we always
What did you do?
We always have this.
What did Derek do?
No, that's not on Derek. It's on me.
Okay.
First thing, we always the SciFi Pubcast operates under the enlightening philosophical principle that we're a pub. So if you want to come on and talk about science fiction, by all means, let us know and we get you on the show. And you don't have to be an expert in the area. You just have to be a bit passionate and bring something to the table and be willing to talk in a very friendly manner and have a drink if you want. I know we have a listener, Corey, that, I don't know, 5 months ago, who tweeted us saying if we ever did Dune, to tweet him and get him on the show. And yeah, we didn't.
And you completely missed it.
Yeah, and I wear that because...
Joel, you are so fired.
Yeah. Sorry, Corey. It wasn't personal. Be quite honest with you, my personal life and my work life has been hectic as hell the last several months. And that has taken my my focus away from this podcast slightly, and I apologize for that. Work is really busy. Plus, I've entered into a new relationship, which is a long distance thing, and I really love the girl. So, so that's taking away a lot of my energies. However, the Sci-Fi Pubcast is still here, and we're still doing it. And I'm just trying to get more people on the show and to do, deeper dives as opposed to the typical superficial, I say typical, but, not as the easy stuff you can talk about. But that's good too. Like for today, we're talking about a movie. Sometimes you just have to sit back and talk about a movie, a good science fiction movie. What do you guys think?
Yeah, sounds fair.
I thought it was a pretty good Charlie Sheen vehicle, and also it was David Twahi before he became famous with Pitch Black. The stop motion of the aliens was a little weird, but I think it's a pretty fun movie.
Okay, yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
The Arrival, the movie we're reviewing. 1997, Charlie Sheen. About an alien.
No, that's a different Arrival.
Right.
What were you? Didn't you get the memo?
Yeah, we're talking about The Arrival.
It's fine.
You hired him.
I know. And we, every podcast needs some comic relief. Okay, so yeah.
But instead, we have me.
All right. Well, actually, Derek, it's Arrival, the film. It's a 2016 movie. Amy Adams was up for a couple Oscars over it and a bunch of other stuff like that. It was directed by Denis Villeneuve, who we really should start a podcast dedicated to Denis Villeneuve because he's been so active in the last couple of years in terms of science fiction. If you don't remember, Denis is actually a French-Canadian film director, and he did things like, Blade Runner 2049, and
Never heard of it.
And he's working on the pre-production for the new Dune movie. That's scheduled.
Haven't heard of that one either.
That's scheduled for to start production next year. So.
I have a slight postscript on our last episode, which was about Dune. Recording that episode kind of got me in the Dune mindset, so I actually got the Butlerian Jihad book from the library and started reading it, and it's pretty good. I think it's 25,000 years before Dune, the novel, and it's the story of how mankind rose up and overthrow the thinking machines, and it's pretty entertaining so far. I'm into the second book of the trilogy now, so recommended.
That's fantastic. Yes, go out and read more science fiction. And I'm way behind myself. So, Derek, are you going to stop at the second book or the third book, or are you going to read the dozen and a half books out there?
I'm going to try to get through the Machine trilogy, and then after that I'll probably go on to something else because I've got so many other things to read.
Okay, fair enough.
They are very long books, too, so I have to admit I may be skimming a little bit here and there because there's so many subplots to it. It's not just starring, a couple people. It's a large, sprawling book with like 10 or 20 different main characters, and some of them don't really seem to directly contribute to the plot. They seem to be kind of more there for the scenery.
So what you're saying is you're basically reading the sci-fi's answer to Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, it actually is very similar to that because each chapter is from one single character's perspective, and nothing necessarily actually happens plot-wise in a chapter. It's just kind of like their feelings about an event that happened, and then you move on to the next person. I haven't read a lot of George R. R. Martin, but that seems to be his style as well.
Interesting. Well, we're talking about Arrival, so I think we'll do another Dune podcast sometime in the future because it's such a goldmine for for material and content.
Plus, we have at least one listener who wants to get on the show. Should you remember this time?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not going to let you live that down now.
Yeah,
you realize this.
I think Corey is a friend of Randall Graham, so it's a small world out there. There you go. But the movie Arrival, the 2016 film, let me read you the storyline, which I'm taking from IMDb. How's that? And spoiler alert, we're talking spoilers. That's what we do here. So if you
I think we blew the lid off of that part at the very beginning of the show.
Yeah, this is what happens when you get into conversation in pubs. You can't really control where the conversation goes. But the storyline says, linguistics professor Louise Banks leads an elite team of investigators when gigantic spaceships touch down in 12 locations around the world. As nations teeter on the verge of global war, Banks and her crew must race against time to find a way to communicate with the extraterrestrial visitors. Hoping to arrive at the mystery, she takes a chance that could threaten her life and quite possibly all of mankind. Yeah, the story.
Isn't that the way things always work out that way?
Yeah.
The fate of the universe rests on the shoulders of one person. That's a lot of That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and the fact that this one professor is leading an investigator. No, I think the military is actually leading this, but yeah, whatever. Okay. Of course, Louise Banks is played by my favorite actor, Amy Adams. And I've been...
Yes, she is awesome.
I've been watching her career since Charlie Wilson's War, and I love her. So she plays a linguistic, very, very intelligent, smart person, Louise Banks. And the supporting cast, and this is interesting because it's a male supporter actor, and Amy Adams is the lead actor. Of course, I'm talking about Jeremy Renner, who plays a mathematician by the name of Dr. Ian Donnelly. And then there's other people like Forest Whitaker, Colonel Rubber. Where do we know him from?
Forest Whitaker? I never heard of him.
Yeah, and something.
Some space movie, I think.
Yeah, some space movie thing.
And some superhero movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of superhero movies and time, I'm really confused about where this movie takes place time-wise, because Lois never mentioned Superman the whole time. I mean, I assume she's undercover with the fake name and everything, and then obviously this is Zuri before he goes back to Wakanda when he's still undercover in America. But how can Zuri and Hawkeye be in the same movie as Lois? Aren't they in two different franchises?
I think you're talking about a completely different movie.
A lot of people say to me when I describe something, it's like you saw something completely different than what I did.
Gee, I can't imagine why they would say that.
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there. I'm just going to continue.
Moving on.
One other actor which plays, I think, did an outstanding job in the film Arrival is Michael Stolberg. Sorry. He plays the CIA lead agent on the field. And I know
That's the guy with the wild hair.
Yeah, he plays. He was in Boardwalk Empire, and he plays the gangster. What's his name? Arnold Rothstein. I love him. Yeah.
Wouldn't know.
Yeah, he was a big time Jewish gangster in Chicago who's a rival and contemporary of Al Capone.
Oh, funny connection. In Men in Black 3, he was the guy who could see into the future non-linearly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the guy that the bad guy was chasing after because he could see forward and backwards in time.
Huh. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
And now he plays this asshole skeptic on this Arrival film. So that
I guess someone has to play the politician, right?
Yeah. Or someone who's somewhat rational and sane. But let's move on, because this movie, in my eyes, is more of an intellectual science fiction film than many others. It's not Star Wars. It's not Independence Day. This movie asks big questions and makes you think. And it takes effort to get a lot of meaning out of this movie. Would you guys agree with that?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And to quote lines from the movie, we need to ask the big question. And another line is that we are so bound by time, by its order. And this movie really puts that on its head, or spins it on its head. Because,
yeah, that's true. I kind of likened them to the wormhole aliens from Deep Space Nine, where they don't think of time the same way that we do. They're wormhole aliens in DS9 were basically non-linear beings as well.
Oh, wow.
Well, this whole movie is a cinematic adaptation of the DS9 pilot.
Check.
Yes,
Can I get my check? Wait, I own this place.
And with the nicest elder gods I have ever come across. I'm sure these are the two that got kicked out of Cthulhu's club. I'm guessing.
I mean, didn't they just recast Cisco with Amy Adams?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dear Lord. Actually, in reality, Arrival was based on several different short stories and novellas by American author, science fiction author, Ted Chiang, who lives in Seattle, Washington. Ted Chiang has won numerous Nebula and Hugo Awards, and how it looks like is that he kind of combined or actually used all his previous works to combine it and make some sort of a screenplay of Arrival. Yeah, there's actually a screenwriter which was not Ted Chiang. I'm just trying to track his name down. But it's so important. Here's an example where a writer writes for 20 years, and then there's a unifying thread that ties everything together, and Hollywood comes knocking and makes this wonderful movie. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that it actually worked out that well is kind of amazing.
Yeah, and again, I'm just trying to... so the screenplay was by Eric Hasserer, and of course, I'm butchering that. He's an American screenwriter, and he actually was nominated for the Best Adapted Screenplay for Arrival in 2016. Wow.
Nice.
Yes. Now, with Ted Chiang and his short stories and all that, there's several of them. And I'm looking at it, and some of it were published in magazines. The first one was from 1990. God, I was in like grade 9, maybe grade 10. Tower of Babylon. Followed by Understand in 91 in Asimov's magazine. Division by Zero. Story of Your Life, Starlight 2. And it just goes on from there. 72 Letters, Evolution of Human Science. Hell is the Absence of God. And Liking What You See, a documentary. So that's a Stories of Your Life and Others from 2002, where he actually combined a lot of his short stories.
Nice.
So I guess what I'm really saying, and I'm saying this to you, Derek Beebe,
Yo.
There's hope for you, man. All you little short stories, there's hope for you.
Well, actually, it's funny that you say that because my one published novel, It's a Wonderful Death, is actually a collection of short stories re-edited into one novel. It was originally it was originally 5 different short stories that were of a sequence, and I rewrote them into a single novel, just like Arrival.
Interesting.
Well, let's start asking some of the big questions. What did you guys think of this movie?
I really liked it. It was interesting, especially on rewatch, knowing what was supposed to be happening and trying to figure out where pieces of the puzzle fit together. Yeah, it was interesting.
And Derek, what's your take? You have time to
Yeah,
answer?
it's a good movie. I mean, it's obviously a very small, slow, intellectual movie, but for what it is, it's very good. And it was very interesting to watch it a second time around because it kind of has one of those, Sixth Sense style plot twists that changes everything you thought you knew about the movie. Because the whole time I just assumed that the little girl was her backstory and that it all took place before the alien arrival. So I was very shocked when it turned out to be a flash forward.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was a little confused, though, is as we saw those scenes, well, obviously not the original scene because that was her in the future narrating the events of the movie. But in the times we see the little girl after that, was that the present day Louise experiencing those visions and not telling anyone about it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because if I
Because
suddenly started having visions of like, a complicated life with a daughter, wouldn't you say something to someone, especially, when you're studying all possible experiences with the aliens?
not if you don't want to be taken off of the project.
Yeah.
I mean, you would want to, if you think you're going crazy, but you know that what you're working on is really important, you would kind of want to not voice those opinions, those thoughts, if you didn't have to. That sounded more confused than I anticipated. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a hard.
Well, that's in the spirit of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard movie to wrap your head around, because it's all about this notion that time is its own language, and that you can understand the language by the gift that the hyperpods. I'm sorry, how do you say it?
Heptapods?
How they gave humanity with the use of their language. Because the language affects the way you think affects time. And that's a revolutionary concept.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's my very basic popular culture understanding of physics, because I'm not good at science, but I trust scientists, that time is actually really hard to nail down, because it changes things like speed and the whole Einstein theory of
General theory of relativity,
and special theory of relativity, right? The two of them, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole time speeds up and slows down the closer you get to a warm black hole and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and time gravity slows down when you're at work and speeds up when you're at home having fun.
Yeah, and the older you get, the faster it goes. I'm not sure what's up with that. So in terms of the hard sciences, this film asks some really interesting questions, and I think that's the first step in exploring the world around us, is by asking questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because it goes at it in an unconventional way, which you find in other science fiction. It puts a lot of importance on communications and linguistics. I can't recall a property that has done this to this degree.
Darmok.
Who's Darmok?
Star Trek Next Generation Season 5, Darmok.
All right,
Darmok at Tanagra. Darmok when the walls fell.
Yeah, refresh my memory, man. I've had a lot of bears in the last 20 years.
You don't remember this? This is one of the most famous episodes of Next Generation. It's the one when Picard is stranded on the planet with the alien, and he only speaks in parables, and they're being chased by a monster.
Okay.
And Picard has to learn to speak his language of parables to communicate with him. Back me up here, Carrie.
Yeah, I was trying to give Joel room to remember what we were talking about here, and
I've killed way too many brain cells, man. I'm sorry.
I can't help you with that.
Yeah.
It's one of the more famous Next Generation episodes.
Yeah, with
if only Randall was here.
Yeah. Randall would be very, very upset with you, Joel.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Randall's been anticipated in me before, so it's not the first time. I have not ever actually got an A in his class. I took 3 of his classes.
Oh.
I got a B+ a couple of times. Oh.
Did you say you never got an anus class?
A, like an A. It's a law school. The mark's a ball curve.
Joel's speech impediment is really not that bad.
No, it's more just me living in Derek world.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dear.
God, talking about language. Right. If we only had some whiteboards, which we can actually start teaching language from scratch. And forget about this math business. What do you guys think?
What was the question?
You need whiteboards.
Whiteboards, because in the movie, Amy Adams' character, Louise Banks, started from the scratch and started with trying to teach the aliens simple things like their proper names.
Right.
Right, Louise and Ian, right? Versus their names, Abbott and Costello, which is just hilarious.
That's just what they decided to call them. my actual question is, they had a mathematician, and if math is the language of the universe, why weren't they trying to speak to them in math instead of words?
Because I think time as its own, I don't know, own.
But they didn't know
force.
that. They didn't know that when the aliens showed up.
Yeah.
Why did I mean? Okay, I'm going to assume that this has something to do with the fact that most humans' heads would explode if people started trying to communicate via calculus with alien life form in a movie. But it kind of makes sense that they would try that.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be, very good film. The drama's not there. It's like
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
It's like two calculators trying to talk to each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Jeremy Renner's character had taken the lead and we were speaking in terms of math, you would have lost most of the audience because, I mean, even I find listening to people talk about math awesome, but at some point you're going to lose me.
Yeah, I think that adds up. I can see that.
Thank you.
Anytime. Yeah.
I mean, I understand calculus to a point, but don't ask me about algebra. My algebra sucks.
Kind of wants a piece of pie. Okay. Yeah. So, and let's take another angle on this. I know I was watching all the documentaries off the Blu-ray because I like watching the special feature stuff when I buy Blu-rays. And there's a few good documentaries, short documentaries, where they interview people like Ted Chiang and Denis Villeneuve and all that. So a lot of the information I'm telling you guys I got from these documentaries. Mm-hmm. And when they designed the language, they wanted the language to be something that was not related in any way to any human language. And they went back, and it was hard because every made-up language looks like something else. Until they came up with this idea that let's create a language like a squid almost, or like a coffee stain. I think that's a brilliant creative idea.
Oh yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
And looking at it, and even things like the aliens themselves, Villeneuve wanted them to look like whales almost. Not whales per se, but these just large mammals almost.
Squid.
Yeah. And
they look like alien face huggers to me.
No, seriously, I seriously thought I was looking at, like I said, Cthulhu's nicer cousin.
Yeah, who tells better jokes, apparently, with being avid at selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Villeneuve continued by saying that he wanted the aliens to have like a soul and a presence. Like they were from the world of dreams and nightmares. So you got this surreal existential thing going on. Hence
the elder gods appearance. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense now.
Yeah, and the other thing too is look at the spaceships. It's so unconventional. There's no antennas. There's no warp drives. There's nothing that's mechanical. They're like big giant shells or eggs, and they don't.
Actually, I kept thinking they were just big rocks.
Yeah, and they could be passed as big rocks. It's hard to how do you describe them?
I always thought they were the feet of some colossally tall giant, and that it was one person with 2 feet. That's what it always looked like to me. I was actually disappointed when they actually showed the full form, and it just kind of was like a little body with a head on top. I thought it was going to be this toweringly tall skeletal entity.
You're talking about the aliens, not the ships. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking going all Jock on the beanstalk on me. So yeah, no, that makes sense.
One thing that I thought was cool about the design of the ships is that on their side it just looks like a lozenge, but then at the end of the movie when they go flat, there's suddenly the alien motherships from Independence Day, and it looks like, we're about to have ID42 for a second.
Oh God.
Yeah, until they disappear. Sure.
Yeah. And the thing too with these ships is no pollution. They don't transmit any signals. They operate not in our understanding of the physical world.
And they turn into smoke when they leave. It's like the best, or fog. It's like the best. They're very environmentally aware.
Yeah,
aliens.
it's almost like they're using magic because their technology or the way they interact with the universe is so more advanced than ours.
Oh,
I think it's
yeah.
because they walk on their sensory organs, so obviously you'd be very sensitive to your surroundings then.
Okay.
It'd be like,
Yeah.
if your tongue was your foot.
Ew.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Wow.
That's
Okay, let's talk about some of the visuals and cinematography because I love how this movie is shot. I love the color contrasts. I like everything being so sleek. I really like things like the skylines and the landscapes, all that stuff. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, the landscapes were gorgeous.
My favorite shot in the movie was the first time we see the alien ship, and it's like this beautiful green valley, and there's this thick fog just spilling over the mountaintop and down into the valley. That was
And there's this
really
big
beautiful
black
looking.
thing just hanging there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I also like the fact that you never see the alien ship on a TV screen or anything. The first time we see it is when Louise sees it with her own eyes. All the times before that, there's like TVs playing, but they never show the ship, or like you see her reaction rather than the ship. So that was an interesting choice.
yeah, that's an
Yeah.
excellent point. I like the fact, and Villeneuve says this himself, that he wanted to make it look like dirty science fiction. And he used the example. It's like a school kid going on a school bus some Tuesday morning, and it's kind of raining outside. It's dreary and drabby. And you contrast that with some of the wide shots of the visuals, like Montana, the green, the mist. It's like dreary, but yet alive and living.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then you use the light, like Amy Adams' redhead. So you have this very contrast red hair on some of the more earthy tones, like the grays and the blacks, and the use of light, so lots of white backgrounds. And you have Amy Adams' huge white face, and it's like, wow, visually, it's just so striking.
And her deep
Oh, yeah.
blue eyes, too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, and it's like, wow. And then you put her in a hazmat suit. You have these bright orange suits, and yes, they took some creative licensing in order to have the actors' faces be seen. But it's like, wow. And they talk about the hazmat suits when you watch this documentary. Love it.
Oh yeah, that they intentionally went for the bright orange.
Yeah, because they want to be scientific accurate, but at the same time, not at the expense of dehumanizing everything.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. It's like the Ridley Scott prom in Black Hawk Down. If you remember that war movie back in it came out in 2001.
I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah, so okay. Very briefly, it follows a squad of Delta Force and Green Berets in Somalia, but because everyone's wearing uniforms, Ridley Scott made the decision to put each soldier's like a name on their helmet, like tape name, right? Okay, which isn't actually done in the military, but it was an aid for the viewer not to get confused because everyone looked the same.
That makes sense.
So with the hazmat suits, you need to see the actor's face. If not, it's going to be a bunch of orange hazmat suits.
Okay.
Wow, that was fun. Okay. Well, did you guys catch this ongoing science fiction motif that I love seeing in films? That's
Which one?
The bird drinking from the water. Oh, like the little desk toy. So it's a fake bird that goes up and down, taking some water.
Is that a sci-fi trope? I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, it was in Alien,
Yeah.
the Nostromo, right?
Yeah, the perpetual motion machine or mime, all that.
Is it in Blade Runner, in Decker's apartment?
I think it might be, but
I
it's
think so.
yeah, because it plays with our understanding of physics as well. Because what would happen is that these things will work up to the point where the material the machine's made of gives way because of friction. Yeah. Yeah. My God, I'm talking like a real scientist here. Oh God, kill me now. But yeah, there you go.
Have a drink, Joel. You'll start to sound a little more like yourself.
Yes, I'm drinking coffee right now. Oof.
I think you may need some alcohol there.
Yeah, maybe later. So,
Maybe add some rum to your coffee.
Yeah, maybe. I got to catch a flight like tomorrow morning, so I got to behave
Okay,
myself.
never mind.
Yes, yes. The whole keep Austin word thing. Yeah, I'm going to check that out in real life. But I digress. How about this? The whole canary in the coal mine idea. So
That bird drove me crazy. That was so annoying. The constant chirping.
yeah, but it plays with the bird, motif or metaphor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, are we humanity the canary in the coal mine, so to speak?
Okay, this is kind of weird, but I mean, okay, so Amy Adams's character was the only female to go into the ship, right?
Yeah.
So what if the environment did something that she transmitted to her kid?
And that's why the kid died from this really special.
And that's why the kid died.
Yeah, no, that's how I read it. I read it. It was something that it was biological, or it could be I know some sort of I don't want to say quasi-religious thing from the aliens' perspective, but there was a sacrifice made, and that's basically this movie at an essential level.
Yeah. And I mean, she's also the only one. She was also the first one to take off her helmet and stuff. So maybe I'm guessing something in the way she interacted with the aliens exposed her to something that she transmitted to her to the kid.
Yeah.
And which is why the kid died.
I never thought of that before.
Which is very very morbid. But I mean, if she knows everything that's going to happen and she keeps doing it anyway, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe she was trapped in a predestination paradox. If she doesn't have the kid, then she doesn't create the future, where she speaks to the Chinese general to get the password to speak to him in the past to get him to stand down the military option.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I think that the largest part is, would you be willing to bring someone into this world to love as your child, knowing full well the child will die young and that you will outlive the child? That's a horrendous...
That's a really, really hard thing to try to contemplate.
That's just the existential question right there. It's just amazing. And ultimately, is love enough? And
you could make the same argument that you should never get a dog or a cat or a pet then, because you're going to outlive them as well. They're going to die young, according to our perspective.
Sure, to a degree, sure, but it's more than that, right? Because you're talking about your own child, your own flesh and blood. And there's biological and morality reasons why there's the connection, the bond is stronger than you can with an animal. And trust me, I love dogs, and I've lost dogs in the past. You have a point. It's like
it goes back to a line I keep remembering from the second Cocoon movie, which is parents not supposed to outlive their kids.
And then you look at the Amy Adams character, Louise Banks, and she knows that. She knows she has to go forward in order to save humanity, but at such a loss, a sacrifice.
At such a cost, yeah.
Loss, yeah.
That's really hard. That's kind of hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no certainty in life or in death. Anytime you have a child, they could die at any second. Anytime you enter a relationship with someone, they could die at any second. All you can do is make the most out of the time that you're given, cherish every moment, and when the end comes, it comes. You can't do anything to stop that.
That is true. And I mean, that is a bit of a central theme of the movie. Is just, I mean, that's something that my Aikido teacher talks about all the time. Is you have to treat every encounter as if that's the only encounter you're going to get.
This is wonderful. I love this stuff. And I'm trying to figure who's Derek channeling there. Is it Gandalf the White or Gandalf the Grey? Okay.
Well, in the book, it's Gandalf the Grey in Moria, and I think in the movie, it's Gandalf the White speaking to Pippin at the battle at the siege of Minas Tirith.
There you go. Lovely. There is another really big question or theme in this, is that ask yourself the question, what would it take to unify our world in a political sense?
Exploding a giant alien squid in New York City.
You think that would be enough?
Yeah. But
mean-
you also got to do this telepathic thing that like drives everyone around it dead or insane.
Yeah, no. But more realistically, right? Okay, more into the real world and less of the science fiction world. How would you unify the governments of the world?
Against a single overwhelming threat.
Threats. But in this movie, was the aliens a threat? A lot of people thought so, and they were about to go to war. But at the end, they were giving a gift.
Right, but they didn't know that.
Yeah.
They were trying to shoot at it anyway, which is stupid. Like, seriously, guys, this is why we can't have nice things. Like gifts from alien cultures.
Yeah.
I have a question about that. I've seen the movie 2 times now, and I'm still confused about this. So, some soldiers planted a bomb in the UFO, and it went off. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Because they thought
Because they were scared.
They were scared. It did not jive with their religious beliefs. It made the point that if you believe that humans are the center of the universe, and suddenly that is called into question in a very big and major way, do you lash out because you see the other as evil or as Satan or as a threat? Probably all of the above.
I feel like I walked out of the room at a crucial point both times watching the movie because I don't remember that being shown or explained in the movie. Was it just kind of like...
It was something that was happening in the background.
Yeah.
While they were trying to pack up and leave.
And so the one alien dies in that explosion. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Another thing is you have the one lieutenant or captain who led the mutiny, so to speak, or the attack. He was talking on the phone to his wife. The wife's freaking out. All that stuff.
Oh, I do remember that scene. Okay.
Because it is an existential dilemma. Because most religions actually teach a certain thing. And it's like, okay, if you buy into the dogma, it's not going to work out when your dogma is questioned in such a radical way. Now, not all religions. I think all religions, there's various degrees. This is just a very, very general statement, which I actually lifted from Denis Villeneuve in the documentaries because he makes that point. So it's not my own original thought.
Well, I mean, it could be argued that people, violate their quote-unquote religious beliefs all the time by supporting things that don't follow what the creators of the religion actually said. And then suddenly, when everything is called into question, now you're like, but everything I was told was a lie. Yes.
Yeah, it's like cognitive dissonance on crack. Your brain, it's just wow. That's why it's good to be critical. It's good to ask questions. But at the end of the day, hopefully there's values underneath that as well.
Exactly.
What do you guys think of the soundtrack?
I really like the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, for a second I was about to say what soundtrack, and now I remember like, new. Was the music supposed to be a palindrome itself, kind of repeating in on itself in a cycle?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So the composer is Johan Johansson from Iceland. Tragically, he died in 2018. Young. He was like, I think 46 or something like that. Double check. He died at age 48. And he did a bunch of films and stuff, but he was just starting to become really good. And on one of the documentaries, he just basically said that, he wanted something in the background, something more rhythmic, but not melodic, I should say. So there's a bit of that, but mostly the idea was to expand the mystery of the aliens and to highlight the points of the existential or philosophical questions the movie posed. And I bought the soundtrack when it came out. Now, I don't listen to it every day because it's quite hard to dance to be frank. And I can't really work out to it. I've tried, but it's really neat and it's so alien. You think of something like Iceland, and most people haven't been to Iceland, and it's so isolated. There is a sense of it's being alien to, say, a North American audience.
There's almost like a singing bowl type aspect to the music. Like if you ever hear someone actually playing a singing bowl and running the mallet around the edge of the bowl, that creates kind of this round circular sound, that there's kind of that kind of aspect to the music itself.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't think about this way. And it goes back to the language and goes back to the nonlinear way of thinking.
Exactly.
Wow. Excellent. I love this stuff. That's why I do this podcast right there. Just thinking, anything else you think about this movie? Last thoughts?
Yeah, I have some questions that maybe you guys could explain to me.
Sure.
Did she start getting the visions of her daughter after she took off the helmet? Is that what exposed her to it?
I think so, but I think it came on slowly. It's like it started to come on slowly after that, but then towards the end, it's just like you reach a point and it's just everything is downloaded all at once.
Yeah, because I don't know. It seems to me like it started after she got out of the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Ian took off his suit, but he never got the vision. So maybe it can only happen to a woman.
Or
I was thinking more along the lines of they found a better connection to her than to any of the guys in the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe the heptapods are all female.
Okay,
maybe that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another thing too, I think the whole understanding the nonlinear way of thinking comes into it, because she was the first person to actually, wrap her head around it, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Whereas the mathematician, the Ian Donnelly character played by Jeremy Renner, did not. But it's just one of the questions that's not really answered in the movie.
Another question I have: why were there 12 ships? Did they ever explain that?
Well, I think in the short story there was 112 ships. I read really briefly. So they've changed.
Really?
They've changed the number for the movie. So is it 12 disciples? So is that the meaning behind it? Is that the illusion? Maybe. Is it because
12 is a very important number in a lot of religions, so that's possible.
Yeah. There's also the math thing, because they used the 12 in terms in dialogue to answer a math question. So there's that tie-in.
It would be interesting.
Think in base 12.
It would have been interesting if there were 14 of them, because then you could say they use base 14 math, because if you have 7 fingers, then your natural math system would be 7 plus 7 equals 14 is one unit of measurement. Kind of like the way we use base 10 math because we have 10 fingers.
Oh, but that would be too easy.
Yeah.
There's also 12 months in the year. So the whole time thing comes into it. So that's a bit on the nose. And yeah, it doesn't work everywhere. It kind of works only for humans on Earth. But still, I like movies when you can actually interpret some of the film language. And we can try to figure things out. Because quite frankly, I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong answer. It just is, there's good insights and there's not so good insights. What else, Derek? What other questions do you have?
Not a question, but I cannot wait until Arrival 2, which takes place 3,000 years in the future, when the human Space Force and the Heptapod Space Force go to war against the alien invaders. That's going to be awesome, man.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for that one. Hopefully they bring back Denis Villeneuve to do the directing.
Yeah, it's going to be like the new Star Wars. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, they're going to create a theme park and everything.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was just like the setup for the space battle, you know what I mean?
Oh, God, Derek.
Wow.
We do some serious science fiction. Bang, you're bringing it back down, all the way back down to home, right there.
No, but in all seriousness, what do you think is going to happen in 3,000 years? Because I actually did interpret it as some kind of a conflict, like a war.
Yeah.
I mean, what other interpretations could you take?
Maybe their race will be dying in 3,000 years and they need someone to preserve their language.
Or it could be something like DNA related, or some sort, like almost the Expanse with the Porter monocle. I don't know. Or the beings that made the gates and then the beings that killed the gate makers. Got me. Yeah. That's a mystery, isn't it?
Maybe it's connected to the way they implanted visions in Louise, and like you guys theorized, it did something to her future baby. So maybe they somehow. Maybe they'll, do a better process in 3,000 years' time? Or how about this? The present day humans are poisoned by contact with the heptapods, but humankind that has evolved 3,000 years in the future, they are able to actually incubate or impregnate with the heptapod, whatever, and then we join together and become a hybrid species.
That's just weird.
Derek, I think you have a bit too much time on your hands, but
Yeah.
we still tolerate you. That's okay. No, that's quite interesting because it becomes a thought experiment, right? And not only that, you can run with the plot. Why not? I can see you, Derek, doing some fan fiction.
No, just no.
Some Abbott Costello / fiction.
I think I need to bleach my brain now. Thanks, Joel.
Anytime. All right, any last thoughts before we wrap this show up?
My favorite moment of the movie was the flash forward when she's telling Hannah that your name is a palindrome. It means the same thing going backward and forward. I thought that was a really beautiful moment that summed up the whole film. When I heard that line, I was like, "Oh, that's great."
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Any last thoughts, Carrie?
No, I think it was a really good movie. I like the circular way of thinking of time. It was just awesome.
I like the very.
Thank you for making me rewatch it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love this movie. I like I like the movie because it's a smart movie. And you can see it in the ideas. You can also see it in the dialogue. And
oh yeah, definitely.
And I really enjoy the visuals, the film language, and the acting was first class.
Oh yeah,
so definitely one of my top science fiction movies. I want to say all time in terms of like hardcore science fiction. To me, it's in the same universe as 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is.
I'll watch this again. I'll watch this again at any time. In 2001, not so much.
Well, to each their own. But let's wrap this up, shall we? We're going to be closing. Our Twitter address for the podcast is at SciFi Pubcast. You can follow our network page. We belong to the When Nerds Attack Podcasting Network. Their Twitter address is at Nerds Attack Pods. I did the Twitter for the SciFi Pubcast, and my dear friend Derek, he does the Facebook. Right, Derek?
Right.
When Nerds Attack also has a network page. Like them if you want. You can leave us an Apple Podcast review. Please do. If you do, and you give us a 5-star review and say something positive, let us know, and I'll send you stickers. Yes, I still have stickers. Also, if you want to touch base with us, feel free to hit us up on social media, or you can send an old-fashioned email to management@scifipubcast.space. Carrie, what's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is Carrie Blackfire42. That's KERI Blackfire42.
And Derek, what's yours?
Hi, everybody. Good to see you today.
Right, and my... okay, I'm pretty sure Derek meant that his Twitter address is at Derek J. Beebe. Common spelling. And mine is at Joel_Welch, WELCH. Guys, customers, our dear customers, thank you for joining us. It is much appreciated. We see you next time. Stay in touch. Make it home safe. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm here, ready to record.
Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Juren. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly, and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.